Honestly, I must say very big thanks for Sir Wilson, I call you, because only few people have the braveness and the audacity of what you have and what you do. And then listening to you speaking here, you really encourage and inspire me quite a lot. Very few people, will do that. You remind me very much of William Wilberforce, who has a passion for the abolition of slave trade and, rejected many times in the Houses of Commons. But in the end, it came through. And I understand your passion about seeing people taking their position in the place of leadership in Ireland. And consistently, time after time, you are dogged in doing it. And I just pray that God will reward your hard work. God bless you, sir, for what you are doing. And I want to salute all the speakers who have gone beyond me. Yinka, you have been fantastic. Real teacher, of course. Nobody can tell us any otherwise that you are really a tutor. And Gladys, helping and provoking us with all those things which you have within yourself. Thank you very much, everyone. And for all of you who are coming here today, my very good friends. I literally know, it's like I'm amongst family. I know everybody, and I'm really grateful for you to have listened to whatever we have to say, and God will bless all of us with what to do. Now, it's very simple what I'm talking about. The title of what I'm talking about is that just do it. You've had enough. I'm not going to tell you anything you've not had before. And even those who have gone ahead of us, who are experts in all this stuff, the Maxwell, the Carnegie, the Mensah-Otabil, all of them, what are we going to say that they've not said? What am I going to say that you've not gone through in the books that they've written all over the time? See, the only reason why we still stand and keep talking and why you are still listening, it's only one reason, is that we're not doing it. People forget what they hear, and they may not remember what they see, but very few people will forget what they do. A pastor has been preaching on a particular subject in his church, time after time, year after year, months after months, and weeks after weeks. And he got frustrated because nobody was doing anything. So one day, on a Saturday, he got a carpenter and he got a signwriter. And he told the carpenter, every single area that anybody can get into this church, I want you to boulder it off. So the windows, even nobody will be able to get in. And then he told the signwriter to write something by the door of the church. So on a Sunday morning, people coming to hear exactly the same thing they've been hearing time after time and years after years. And they came in. So when they got to the church, they found out that, why are you denying us on what we've been used to hearing, what we are used to all the time? What is the problem? Because they are their Sunday best, smelling the same way, looking the same way. So why? Why is this happening? Why is the door locked? So as they moved closer to the door of the church, one of them said to them, I said, hey, come and have a look. There is a writing by the door. So they all rushed to the door. What could it have been? And they saw this thing written in there, in which the pastor have written clearly, said, you have all had enough. Go and do it. What a good sermon for a Sunday morning. Short, spicy, but that is it. You see, the reason why we don't do it is because we procrastinate. Procrastination is the stealer of time, is the stealer of life. You've heard about the person who says, I wish I could win jackpot and lottery. And he dreams about winning this jackpot and the lottery all of the time. But they ask him, when are you going to win this lottery? He said, I will win it one day. Until somebody said, he has not even get out to go and buy the ticket. So how are you going to win a lottery? Because he kept on procrastinating. It's a lack of action that keeps you from moving forward and making progress in life. Then as a result of doing nothing, you know what happened? Frustration sets in, and it easily turns into an inner anger. And you lose self-confidence. And then you hear that many people are depressed. They are only depressed because they have remained the same way they have been all along in their life. Procrastination is a very dangerous thing. It has a symptoms. You will know when you are procrastinating. Some of the symptoms are you delay what you need to be done now for another time. You say, oh, let me do it tomorrow. Let me do it tomorrow. You suspend an instant action for a lesser activity, you know. Times, I don't know about you, sometimes when I feel like procrastinating, I knew I need to do this thing. Like it happened to me the other time. I got a ticket, and I knew I need to pay the ticket because I was on the phone when the police caught me. And I came, 28 days, you know, I will pay it. So until I remember, actually it's not 28 days, it's about 1 month and 28 days. And a letter came into the post, now you have to show up in the magistrate court. Now, procrastination, because I thought I could easily do it. So when you also seek convenience against a laudable risk, you are procrastinating. So it's okay now, let's just eat and drink and marry, I'll do that later. When you postpone things to another time, after all, you always say there will always be a time. There's nothing like that, no time. And then where fear dictates instead of faith, you are afraid. I don't want to do this thing. Maybe when I get more boldness. Maybe, do you know how many times you want to do something, you keep postponing it and it never happens? It never happens. You see, I've been trying to change my car for a while. It's not that I can't change the car. It's not that God has not blessed me for a while to change the car, but I just thought, 6 months after, 9 months after, yet I keep paying a lot of money on the one that is old. Until one day, I just didn't know what happened to me. I just drove myself to the nearest, to the nearest dealer. And it was like something possessed me. I said, today I must overcome this procrastination. So I sat down there, and when I was foolish or stupid, the first car I saw, I said, that one I want to buy. And then we went through the thing before I went through the course again, and the course again. Invariably, you know, I paid a little bit of deposit for the car. And when I got home, then my mind kept telling me, you must be stupid. Then fear sets in. Are you sure you really want that car? After all, the one you have, nothing's wrong with it. You know, so then you begin to play this thing through your mind. Because procrastination won't let you go. It will hold on to you, even when you have taken the action. Because it wants to dominate and take over your life. In those moments of decision, it is in the moment of decision that your destiny and your life is shaped. The moment of decision making is that moment that you say, this is what I do and this is what I don't do, and that is when your life is shaped. You see, the procrastination itself, it has a sting, it bites, and the biting is painful. One of those bites is stagnation. You just realize you are the same place. The same place you are year before. You're the same place last year, the same house, the same car, the same job, the same clothes, the same food, the same restaurant, the same, whatever. That's the same thing. You remain stagnant. You have no progress. The future becomes bleak. Even it's bright for so many people. Hopelessness sets in. You don't have an experiential living. How many times have people thought, I'd like to go abroad, I'd like to go on holiday? They always wish they will go on holiday, but they don't even know how the airport looks like. So they keep procrastinating. Oh, my family holiday will happen. I want to take a retreat. I want to go and do something. So it never happened. It's an experiential living that you really actually do not experience. It's a fearful living against a faithful living. So frustration, disappointment, missed opportunity and chances. Basically, you miss the boat. Procrastination assassinates opportunities. It is one of the most common and the deadliest disease, and its toll on success and happiness is heavy. It's heavy. Procrastination. The devastation on success and happiness is heavy. Then you ask me the question, why do people procrastinate? See, some of the procrastination, some of them are internal, some of them are external. They are internal when you lack personal motivation. Nobody to motivate you. So you don't have people around you that will steer you. Go on, let's do this thing together. When you lack an inner drive, a self and inner drive, or when you have a mediocre mindset, let's just remain this way. It's okay, Why do we need to bother? Let's just keep on the way we are. At least nobody is troubling you. And nobody is troubling me. Let us just remain. So there is not a pioneering spirit to take the plunge. And there's an external factor when you have a fear of failure. What about if I fail? And also, there's also the fear of success. And then, when you lack previous experience of success stories, if you have been successful, taking one plunge after another plunge after another plunge, you don't procrastinate because you have a track history of what you've done over time. And the worst of it is when you are in a company of wrong company or wrong association. The people around you can determine the future you are going. If the people around you are not taking risks, you ain't going nowhere. Because you are just going to be like them. That's why if you want to change your life, you have to change your friends. Oftentimes you have to change your life, you have to change your location. Because those mere changes at all can make a significant impact in your life and what you become. So when you also lack mentors and role models, people who have intellectual and spiritual exposure to provoke your mind into action. There are some people, when you are around them, you cannot afford to procrastinate because they are constantly, consistently provoking you. They are on the move. And so you have no choice. You don't even know you are moving, yet you are moving. But you're around some people, you don't even know you are going back until when your other friend sees you and say, your life was better last year than this. It's then you realize that you've moved back in your life. A problem, maybe because you don't get it. The more you leave things to chance, the less chance there is for you in life. You must remember, it is your decision and not your condition that determines your destiny. Your decision, not your condition, that determines your destiny. The power of decision shapes your experiences of life. The key is not about what you know, but about what you commit yourself to do. Many people know a lot of things, but they are not committing themselves to nothing. They know. The knowledge is there. They've gone to university, they have degree, they have masters, they have PhD. They have knowledge. But they're yet to commit themselves to do anything. That's why most of those successful people, these people I've been talking all along, only a few of them have gone through universities. But they committed themselves that it's about a life of action. It's not about what I know. So you realize that the people who do things are the people who employ those who are intelligent. And I like what you said a lot, Inga, that the way we model our children is through competition. I'll never forget that. That will stay in my mind forever. So we ask them to compete when they are in school. Come first, because I came first when I was in school. Nobody knows whether I came last. I mean, if you have to be judged by me, I bunked my school cert. My mother has to take me by the hair to go and repass it. But yet when I'm talking to my children, I was first in the class. Now, I don't know how first look like. Right? So, but the same thing we pass to our children. You have to come first. You have to be first in the exams. You have to be whatever. But really, we should not be teaching them to come first and be competitive. What we should be telling them is to be creative. Because it is in the creativity that their inner will, their inner mind, the seed that God has put in them comes alive and they become what God has called them to be. Who told you that we cannot have 16, 18-year-old of our children already a millionaire when they are 18? Yet we are still asking them to come first in school. What a joke. And those are the kind of the things we need to start thinking about. Procrastination is so bad that it can just steal your life away from you. But at the same time, if you come across people who can give you information that can totally knock your life all around, you better grab it. I was told about it. If I met the gentleman in Ghana, when I was in Ghana a few months ago, when I was at this institute in Ghana. I forgot the name. I was in Transatlantic World Conference in Accra, Ghana. The story was very interesting. This man was 35 years old as a farmer. And he was frustrated about his life. Things were not just working. And someone said to him that, you can improve your life. He said, how? He said, only if you can get some education so that you have an awareness of life, and then you can then become what you can be. So the guy said, at 35 years old, I've not been to any school. So they say, yeah, but, you can learn anywhere. So the guy taught him, he said, so if I'm going to get education, how does it mean? He said, you just need to, get some adult education. So the guy said, what is wrong in starting from where you actually start education? No, it was a big news in Ghana. And he said, the guy said, what about if I join the primary school kids? And, it was a big issue because they imagined, how can a 35-year-old start primary one? But this is the story. This guy started primary education at 35. At 41, he finished. He did his O-level at 46. He finished his first degree at 50. He bagged masters and completed his doctorate at 55. Now he's a lecturer at the university. He could have procrastinated. Time could have passed. He could have still remained the same old poor farmer, saying, God made me this way. I cannot change my life. But the guy said, I might be 35 years old, but I'm not going to spend the rest 35 years of my life remaining the same way I am. And that's what makes the difference in our lives. And that's what makes many people to say, I want to make a step change about what I am. Friends, know the true value of time. You have to snatch, you have to seize, you have to enjoy every moment of it. Never put off till tomorrow what you can do today. Its life characterizes 4 things. I call it the 4 C's. Because as we go on in life, you're going to experience it. You're going to experience that. A challenge, a chance, a choice, and a changed life. He had a challenge, a poverty, and a bleak future. He saw a chance. Someone told him about school. He made a choice, and he acted. He took a risk. He ultimately changed his life and the life of many others around him. You might be asking yourself and asking me, tell me, how do I overcome procrastination? Here are some tips. 1, you have to overcome the fear. The fear of failure is far more obvious reason of not taking the action. It is true as it pertains to every part of our lives. In everything, your lives, your career, your family, the assignment that God has given to you. If the fear of failure is causing you to put off taking an action, you will need to sit down and think carefully about all the possible outcomes. If indeed I fail. My principle is this. It is better to fail doing nothing. It is better to fail doing something rather than doing nothing at all. Let me fail doing it. It doesn't matter. I will make a fool of myself. But I will learn in the process of making the fool of myself. Consider what does it mean to fail really. Because failing is relative. What failure means to someone, it might be a step change to success for another person. So we categorize what it means by failing. If you can certainly imagine failing, then consider for a minute what is the worst possible consequence of failing. What will be the worst thing if I fail? What will be? Many people will have thought, I need to own my own house. But the fear of the mortgage, 25 years, I better don't own a mortgage. Buy a new car. When will I finish paying the money? But while you are thinking about it, someone that bought the same car, bought the same house around your time, have finished paying for it. The fear of leaving the job you are, the salary is okay. After all, it's stable. But the other people who took chance, years after, they will be the one giving you money. Fear of doing stuff all around you, but we procrastinate. One day will be my chance. Let me tell you, your chance is today. There's no any other day. The chance is now. You've got to make peace with yourself about it and accept that you have nothing more to